Well, ladies and gentlemen, in our left corner, we have. I don't know who we have, but.
Who?
Oh, man. All right. So, we're gonna. Why does this dude look like he came out of jail?
I know, she just picked him up.
Why are you waving at
Wait,
him?
what
bro?
you doing?
That dude look like he don't even know you. He's like, why is this dude waving at me? Okay. Episode 24. We have our student, Courtney, Miss Dutch Bros. All right, so what we're going to talk about. What should we talk about, Courtney?
What do you want to talk about?
No, this is your time.
What do
this
you
is
mean?
your moment. I
don't-
saw on your Instagram story you're like testing. So
Yeah, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I told you this is a great time to broadcast ASMR. You know, you just gotta get some food and
Oh
go,
my
hello,
God.
and you know, just gotta eat the.
Yeah,
the chips.
could we cut that out, please?
No, trust me, you're gonna get a lot of people that are like, they know,
You gotta go.
they know about it. They know about it.
Okay. All right. So
Please, all right, whatever.
I know we probably had an episode talking about females getting into trading, right? What is your intake when it comes to the woman's version and how they take trading? Like, do you feel like it could benefit them? Is it a good skill set for them to have?
I think in general with anybody, I think that you have to have the right mindset to trade. I think that it's become a fad for sure. And so you have to be careful who you get involved with, and you have to set the correct expectations for yourself, no matter male or female. Regarding females specifically though,
Yeah.
in the market, it is scientifically proven that females are more emotional than men, and so we have to work with our emotions. I think it's really important to get to know yourself and how you handle stress as a person, because if you don't know how to handle stress, you don't know yourself down to the core,
Yeah.
then you're going to let the market just take you on a really bad ride, and you're not going to be profitable.
Yeah.
You're going to revenge trade. I mean, I've been there, I've done it, because I didn't know when I got into it. It was about a year ago, and I mean, I was kind of sold at first on the fact that, oh yeah, this is going to be easy. You know, everyone can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening a lot. And so I got hooked on it, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, easy money. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, you get into it and you slowly realize that, no, if you actually want to make this work and you want to be profitable and this is your career, you have to put in time. Like, this is your business. This isn't anything that you can just go home, get on the charts and, get 100 or 150 pips. I mean, there are so many things that if I could tell my old self that I know now, it would change the game. Different pairs move differently. And I remember I told Mike, actually, when I first started with you guys, like a year ago, I told him, like, the first night I was there, he was like, you got to watch out, because he was like, the psychology portion of it, he was like, you're going to want to like, if you lose on a trade, you want to get right back in. I was like, no, I'm like, I'm different. And the fact is that I wasn't. I've fallen into that. You just have to make sure that you have a set of rules and follow those rules. Do not break your rules, because if you do, then you're letting yourself down. And I've been watching a lot of psychology videos on why just people in general, like, say for instance, move their stop loss. So say for instance, you're going long on EU and it's about to hit your stop loss, so you move your stop loss even lower, just because you don't want to get stopped out. You're actually psychologically, you're not afraid of losing it. You're afraid of being wrong. And I feel like that's where a lot of people need to get with themselves and internalize, be like, hey, it's okay to be wrong. Because in Forex, you are going to be wrong. Sometimes more than you are right, But you can still be profitable.
So going back to choosing who you want to learn from, right? And I feel like I'm not trying to be any sexist or anything. I'm just getting straight to the point. because we have it's, you know, being very male dominant when it comes to the industry. We do have people that have that kind of influence. I won't say influence of power, but the influence behind it, and knowing what if they choose like the right mentor, or you know who they choose to learn from, you know, they use that to their advantage of for the person that is really, well, for the female that's really involved, right? And could end up turning sideways just due to her being as a female, you know. But like if it's from like a guy point of view, they're like, oh yeah, you know, whatever, he was this such and such person, I'm gonna brush it up. Like, what is your intake on that? Because I've seen it multiple times from people that, you know, have that, you know, influential power behind them, or you know, accomplish goals, whatever, when it comes to the whole trading space. So what is your intake for females to notice when they're getting taken advantage of,
You know, when they're getting played?
Yeah, getting played, or just they just need to move on?
The whole thing is like, do your research.
Yeah.
The whole thing is with this is, don't trade Forex if you think you're going to get rich tomorrow,
Yeah.
or if you're going to get rich next week, if you're going to get rich next year. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. You could have the best mentor in the entire world. You can't learn everything overnight.
Yeah.
It's just not physically possible. So if someone comes into the game telling you that, yeah, you give me some money, and you know, we'll sit down and I'll teach you everything that I know, and I can guarantee you in 90 days you're going to be profitable and you're
Yeah.
going to be trading, run as fast as you can in the opposite direction. First of all, look up their track record, ask to see their percentages on their, you know, what pairs they trade the most of, you know, how much do they risk? Are they, you know, monitoring, you know, all that information? Are they recording it? Are they back testing? Also, see if it's just a demo account, because so many people out here are just trading demo accounts and they're selling you on a dream, and it's not real. I can open up an account right now and have $1 million. I can post that on my Instagram, you know, and tell everyone, oh, I'm making a crap ton of money, and oh, sign up for my mentorship. It's not real. So do your research.
Okay. That's understandable. Yeah, I think like, you know, of course, doing your research is definitely very, very important. And making sure they have credibility, you know, asking around to, especially when everything's so digital and being on social media and such. So, of course, looking at, you know, track record is very, very important, because I believe if you're definitely going to be investing into yourself, and especially that's going to be giving you the knowledge that you're going to apply to have a powerful skill set behind, you have to have a track record, because there's nothing that could beat showing a track record. Because, you know, we all know that saying that men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So let the numbers do the talking. You shouldn't be doing the talking. Like, you know, I never guarantee anyone's success. You know, like I show you what I have applied and what I've learned, and I show you a track record, you know. So I like to show what is impossible, very possible. But if you actually put in the correct chart time, you know, having your mindset being very strong, like, you know, this is not just like a hobby. This is a skill set. This could be a career. This could be your financial freedom to opening many doors in your life. So, yeah, because that really plays a role.
You
like,
have to be ready for that, though.
Yeah.
I feel like in the beginning, even like my journey, I wasn't, like the first probably 3 to 6 months, I wasn't mentally ready for it. I was out on the weekends. I was partying. You know, I was, you know, spending my money, you know, every weekend. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't waking up on a schedule. I wasn't doing what I needed to do to become successful. It's interesting to see how things have changed for myself.
Yeah.
You know, and when you really have a goal and, you know, something set in place of what you want to accomplish, how everything else falls in line.
Yeah.
You stop going out every single weekend and spending $200 or $100 a night on drinks, you know, because not just the money portion of it, but you feel like crap and you don't wake up the next day to study. If you're working a 9-to-5 job, you only have your weekends, you know, to work. So what's more important, you know, like short-term fun and going out and partying? Yeah, it's fun. But I'd rather be out partying in a different country in 5 years with all my money.
Yeah, sure. So what do you feel about like a lot of females that's just in the nightlife where they could be, if they just focus on learning how to trade? Do you think that could have been like, because I know there's a lot of single mothers out there too, and I know, and I completely respect the hustle
Yeah.
if they gotta be at the nightlife to get the fast money, but just showing them there's just having another way.
There's
like,
another option, and the thing is, I don't feel like people know that that there is
Yeah.
another option. When I lived in Iowa, I moved out here about a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew Forex existed. There are so many people that want to take that fast route. Selling drugs, stripping, scamming, whatever you have to do to make a quick dollar.
She says, "Scam."
Whatever.
That's really become a new hobby in 2020.
Unfortunately, it has, and that's the whole thing. I mean, even as a female, you have to be careful who you get involved with, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But there is another option, and I wish that there were more female traders in the game. That way, they can teach other females.
Yeah.
Because females ultimately do trust other females. You know what I mean? Nothing against guys or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you just
it's like an empowerment movement.
Exactly. And I feel like with the way that everything is going right now, with women, and women are coming up and we're doing our thing, and it's amazing. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I think now like more women are becoming more smarter now, especially when it comes to with finances and stuff like that. So I'm just talking about like from like my point of view, like just living in just Scottsdale, I see girls just driving the most exotic vehicles, and it's really like the guys sometimes, like like it's just like it's kind of appealing just to see is that females are coming up of creating the establish of their income, of their independence. So like if they just become more of aware when it comes to trading, oh man, that's like
But the thing is that it's not sexy though.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's
not
the whole
sexy.
thing.
It's not sexy, but
so
like
a lot of girls
if,
don't want to do it.
Yeah, but if the knowledge is applied the right way, then yeah, it could be a nice domino effect.
Oh, completely. But the whole thing is, I feel like a lot of girls would, rather be a bottle girl,
Yeah.
or rather be a waitress, and show off their assets.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Be you, do whatever makes you happy, but think long term.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need something that's going to carry with you. Think about your life in 10 years. Where do you want to be? You can't wait for a year before that 10-year mark to start making your plans. You got to do it yesterday.
Yeah.
You would have already had to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. And the biggest thing for me is that you are not taught trading in school. You're not
Nope.
taught finances as much as you should
Yeah.
in school. So this even needs to go, not even female, it needs to go to freaking kids, in my opinion. It needs to be taught, in high schools.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, and also credit.
Oh, completely.
All of like the aspects that we need to feel like we need to be growing. Becoming an adult, showing all of the important things. When it comes to savings and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like that needs to be very crucial for the for the youth to actually apply. So. And it's really sad that it's really not, because like I know when I went to school, like I was an athlete my whole entire life, so I either had someone doing my homework, or I was not probably going to class, or I just felt like the teacher was not at my level of
Right.
understanding. So like,
And the other thing is, like, where I come from,
yeah,
like my city, if you don't have parents that are well off, financially, you're not taught about savings.
Yeah.
You're not taught, how to put money into a Roth IRA. You're not taught about a 401k because that didn't exist in your life.
no,
So, and teachers, if you're in the public school system, they don't care about that necessarily. They might brush over it because it's in the curriculum, but they're not going to spend time, teaching those kids exactly what they need to do to be financially
because at
successful
the end
in
of
the
the
future.
day,
It's not their kids.
At the end of the day, it's for them to get their paycheck and pay, whatever bills that they have, and then
Correct.
the cycle just continues.
So ultimately, like,
So like most teachers will feel like they're saying they're making a difference, but in reality you're not.
Exactly.
You're just told what you're supposed to be teaching out to the students, and keep it going each year. So
I think even with Forex or anything that allows you to become financially stable, financially wealthy,
yeah,
take that power that you have then and that knowledge that you have, because knowledge is 100% power.
mm-hmm.
Take that, go to schools, go invest just a couple hours of your time, travel some places and talk to kids. I think that's huge. And that is how we change the cycle. That's how we break everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to figure out who was really breathing heavily. Either the conversation is really spicy.
Either that or he's sleeping.
Man, you
Remember
are a different breed.
I told you that the other day. I was like, wait a minute.
You're
I said,
not from
are
this
you
country.
asleep?
We got one thing clear. Oh, man. So pardon me by the heavily breathing individual. So, yeah, that is really interesting of starting. Wow, man. We have been decades and no one has ever thought of stepping out to attempt to change, the education system. Like, for that actually to happen, man, that's going to be one hell of a movement.
It takes one person.
It's going to make, the government real upset, because they're making money off every student that goes in 40, almost like what, 60? It's almost like 100K basically to just go to school. So it's like, man, it's adding up. So I just feel like if all I'm saying is that if Forex was actually taught in school, man,
game over. Not even, Forex specifically, but like just there's so many assets.
Yeah.
Learn.
But it's a vehicle. It's better having that as a vehicle than, applying to a job that you're not even qualified for.
Exactly.
Because you got to have years to get, a certain position. So
with that even too, like the whole thing is, so speaking on that subject.
Or even when people get released from jail, there's no way they could get a job.
Correct. What do they have? They have a felony record.
Yeah.
So who's going to hire them? McDonald's, possibly, for a dishwasher position. Something like.
I don't even think they will hire them.
They will.
Yeah, if it's under the table.
Anyways, but no, like what I'm thinking is this. So back in the day, so my mom, her parents, the whole thing was go to college, get a job, become financially stable, work your way up in the ladder there. That way you have job security.
Yeah.
Everything has always been about job security, making sure that you can provide for you and your family. That's been since day one. The thing is, though, nowadays, there's no more job security.
Yeah.
It does not matter who you are, how high up you are. If they want to replace you, they will replace you. And if there are enough people behind the person that wants to replace you, they will have their back and they will replace you. There's no more job security. And if that's all you have in your pocket is your job and your 401k that you've had because of that job, what's going to happen is when that job gets out of business or when they fire you or they find someone they're doing budget cuts. And I'm sorry, they got rid of you, nothing personal, but you're stuck. You can't just have one line of income. And I feel like that's how so many people.
Especially into this modern day, everything's just becoming digital. Like we're having, people that are delivering our foods, delivering our groceries, delivering anything that we need to be installed.
I did that for the first time. It was amazing.
So like, buying things online, everything's all straight digital. So it kind of takes away of creating more job opportunities if everything's becoming more digital, So like, and that's just, you just got to keep up of how the generation is going and keeping up to speed, or you're just going to be left behind. And then you're going to wonder why you're not seeing any kind of form of success, just because you're still having those same daily habits of, not building your own empire or, investing to other places so you could have more revenue coming in than you trading away a lot of time for a lot of hours and building someone else's empire. So
exactly, people are just doing the same thing over and over and over again, wondering why they're not getting a different result.
Yeah.
It's because you haven't changed.
Yeah, let's just say this: you can't be the hamster wheel and expect that you're going to go to a different location.
Exactly.
Ooh, damn, that was fire.
But the whole thing, I think.
Man.
So Eric Thomas.
That's what I see.
E.T. is my favorite speaker, and he says you have to look yourself in the mirror and you have to tell yourself, did you give you 120%.
Yeah.
If you did not, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want it as bad as you say you do. And until you, what is the saying? Until you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. That is the truest thing I've ever heard, because I'm sorry, but when it comes down to it, someone's offering you, you know, say you're 21, 22 years old, and they say, here, you have two options tonight. It's Saturday night. You can go out, you can get drunk with your friends, or else you can stay in, get some sleep, wake up tomorrow, and then, you know, study or, you know, do homework or work on your side hustle while you're going to school. What are you going to pick? 90% of people are going to pick going out and having fun. Yes, I'm all up for making memories, 100%, but that's not what's going to build your future.
Yeah, memories don't build futures. Actions build futures.
Actions. And
Ooh, another one.
the
Man,
people,
I'm on a roll. Woo.
the people that surround you too. You just have to make sure that you're with the right people as well. 'Cause that could be a huge influence.
You know, that's just really the biggest key. You know, like if you have the wrong people, you don't expect the return of that. You know, you're just gonna get those daily habits of them causing it, and then you're just gonna fall in the hole. So if you have the right people around you, then you're definitely going to be elevated. You're going to be more focused and getting things done. So, but yeah, I think that you really hit the nail on this. So,
Cool.
you know, if Derek over here like crying over there.
Oh, he's not even paying attention.
Oh man, I think that wraps up for episode 24. I think the topic we're going to talk about is just the reality to life when it comes to trading.
It's not easy,
Yeah,
but
I know.
it's
You're
worth
turning
it.
24, right?
I am. I'm
Damn,
29.
episode 24. And she's turning 24 this
Hey,
month.
look at that.
24 plus 24 is 48.
Yeah.
What?
48 days and blah, blah, blah.
What?
Meaning that
I'm sorry.
thought
We
we
were
were gonna
going
go to a whole
right.
deep,
We were going
like,
right down, and then just took a
documentary.
left turn. Took a left turn.
Oh, man.
Don't know where that went.
I heard 48 and then it went.
There's a 48 and a. Yep.